Assalamu alaikum dear students. I would like to welcome you to the new semester and to the lab of electrical circuits too. Throughout this semester, in this lab we will be performing experiments related to the concepts that you will learn in the theory class. This particular video is prepared for the first experiment in our lab manual. Before you continue watching the video, please make sure that you have downloaded the two documents of lab manual and lab reports that were shared with you through Blackboard. Also, please install the Multisim software. That software has also been shared with you. The installation files of the Multisim software can be installed after following some particular steps. You must follow those steps for successful installation of the software. These are simple steps and have also been sent to you through Blackboard. The most important of the steps that you must follow while installing the Multisim software is that it should be installed in the C drive, and the name of the directory or the folder in which you will install it should be Multisim. Okay, so in this lab we will be using Multisim to build some circuits on our computers, and we will then use this software to measure different voltages and currents in these circuits. Let's now have a look at the circuit that we are going to build in this software Multisim. We will pick the example given in your lab manual for this purpose. This example is given in figure number 2 on page number 6 of your lab manual. Let me move to that part. So this is your lab manual and I'm moving to that circuit. So here it is, figure number 2 on page number 6 of your lab manual. Okay, so this is our circuit. We are actually going to build this circuit in Multisim. Let's have a look at this circuit first. It's a very simple circuit with just two resistors, and these resistors are connected in series. This resistor is a 30 kilo ohm resistor, and this one here is the 20 kilo ohms resistor. Please also note the labels on the resistors. Here this resistor is labeled as R1 while this one is labeled as R2. The other components in this circuit are the DC source right on this part of the circuit. This DC source is of 30 volts and it is labeled as VS. The component at the bottom of the circuit here is the ground. In addition to the labels of the resistors and the voltage source, we have some more labels in this circuit. You may have already noticed these small solid circles. This one, the one here at the right side, and the one here at the bottom. These are labeled as A, B, and C. These circles represents the nodes of the circuit. And these are actually the locations where two or more components are connected. As we will see shortly, such a solid node will appear in Multisim only if more than two components are connected at a point. In that case, Multisim uses a slightly different terminology and call it a junction. We will talk more about it later in the video, inshallah. Okay, now let's get to work, and we will now have to double click the multisim.exe file in the Multisim folder to launch our software and start working on it. I will now show you the Multisim window. I have already opened it for you. Okay, here it is. And now you can see that in this window we have different parts. This big wide space here is called the workspace, and this is the place where we build our circuits. In this place, in this workspace, we will bring the different electrical circuit components like resistors, voltage sources, inductors, capacitors, etc., whatever we need to build a circuit, and then we will connect them in this workspace to form a circuit. Let me highlight some other important parts of this tool. The most important of these parts is the design toolbar right here. So if you see here, these buttons form the design toolbar. In this toolbar, the first button here, it is called the component toolbar button. Okay, so if you look at it, the components name pops up. So if you click on this button, a toolbar on the left hand side of the screen will be toggled. So let us press it. You can see that there is a vertical menu here on the left hand side. This is called the component toolbar, and it is used to access different components such as resistors, sources, etc. And you can see that if we press this button again, it will disappear. Let's keep it for the time being. Another important button in the design toolbar is to display the instruments. Okay, so remember that this is our design toolbar, and the first button was for the components, and the third button here is for the measurement instruments. Okay, so you can see that when I am pressing this button, a toolbar on the right hand side of the screen appears and disappears. Okay, let us press it. So this toolbar on the right hand side of the screen is the measurement toolbar. It contains different instruments that we may use to make different measurements on the circuit. For example, in today's lab, we will be using the multimeter from this toolbar. Okay, students, the best way to learn about all of these things and other features of the multisim tool is to build some example circuits. And that's the reason we are here in this multisim environment. Remember the circuit that we saw a while back in our lab manual? Let me bring that circuit to the same along with this tool so that it is easy for us to draw it correctly. Okay, let me arrange this multisim on the left hand side and this one on the right hand side of the screen. I will increase the size of this one a little bit. Okay guys, so here we are. To draw the circuit, we will first bring in the resistors, and the resistors, as you know, that can be accessed by pressing the basic icon on the component toolbar. Okay, here we have several icons. So this one is the basic icon, okay, the second one, and you can see the shape of the resistor here. Let me click this basic icon. When we click this basic icon, a vertical toolbar appears on the screen. So I think this toolbar appeared on the other screen on my computer. Let me bring it here. I have dragged it here. In this basic toolbar, you can see different components. For example, resistor, capacitor, inductors, and so on. In today's lecture, we are going to deal with resistors only. We will click on the resistor button, and this will allow us to look at a new window which we call the browser basic window. Okay, this is the component browser window, and it allows us to access different components. So right now we are looking at the list of different resistors. You can see that this is a very long list, and in this list we have 1 ohm resistor, we have 1.1 ohms resistor, and so on. The resistor that we need for our circuit is the 30 kilo ohms resistor, and it lies here. Okay, so we have scrolled down in this list, and this is the 30 kilo ohm resistor. I will click on it and then press OK, and I will see that the shape of my mouse pointer has changed. Now I can see a resistor shape along with the mouse pointer. I can place it anywhere on the workspace, but I would place it in such a way that I can connect my circuit in the way shown in the lab manual. Okay, let me put it here. So I simply click it, and I can see that I have a 30 kilo ohm resistor in my workspace, and this R1 is the label of this resistor that is given by multisim automatically.